Hello children, today I am going to take up a new poem from Reverie and the name of the poem is The Spider and the Fly. The Spider and the Fly is written by Mary Botham Howitt. This poem first appeared in Howitt's collection Sketches of Natural History, a series of poems written to educate children about the realities of the natural world. It is a cautionary tale about the manner in which the innocent and gullible can be won over by the wily and shrewd predators who abound in society. The poem reads like a fantasy or fable as the spider and the fly both act and behave like human beings. Ultimately, they act as metaphors for certain types of people who exist in society. Will you walk into my parlor? Said the spider to the fly. The poem opens with a dialogue between a predator, who is the spider, and a prey, the fly. In the first stanza, we observe the spider alluring the fly to his parlor. 'Tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I have many pretty things to show when you are there. So here he is trying to entice the fly by saying that he has many pretty things to show her inside the parlor. The spider portrays his home as a mysterious place, as the prettiest little parlor, just to trick the little fly into his web. "Oh, no, no," said the fly, "to ask me is in vain. For who goes up your winding stair can never come down again." The fly understands that it's a trap, and the fly rejects his invitation by saying that she knows that whoever goes in there never comes out. "I am sure you must be weary means tired, dear, with soaring up so high. Will you rest upon my little bed?" said the spider to the fly. Now in this stanza, in the second stanza, the spider employs a different trick to convince the fly to enter his home. He fakes concern for her by saying that she must be tired and offers her to get some rest on his little bed. There are pretty curtains drawn around. The sheets are fine and thin. And if you like to rest a while, I'll snugly tuck you in. Now here he is trying to tempt her with a false sense of security, as he says that there are pretty curtains drawn around. He tries to appeal to the fly's heart by cunningly offering a shoulder to rest. He tries to establish a connection before he gets ready to eat his prey. "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "for I have often heard it said they never wake again who sleep upon your bed." Thankfully, exhausted or not, the fly is aware of the fact that if she goes into rest, she might end up sleeping there forever. So she refuses the spider's offer and says that she is absolutely aware that whoever goes to sleep on his bed never wakes up. The repetition of the word never emphasizes on the distrust of the fly for the spider. Said the cunning spider to the fly, "Dear friend, what can I do to prove the warm affection I have always felt for you?" He said, now this time the spider tries to befriend the fly by calling her dear friend. He wants to establish a false bond of friendship and affection in order to lure the fly into his home. I have within my pantry good store of all that's nice. I'm sure you are very welcome. Will you please to take a slice? Again he is trying to persuade the fly to fulfill his wish by offering her good food from his pantry. Oh, no, 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 said the little fly. Kind sir, that cannot be. I have heard what's in your pantry, and I do not wish to see. The fly is, however, determined not to be tricked by the cunning spider. She tactfully refers to the spider as kind sir and tells him that she is not interested in seeing what he has to offer from his pantry. Sweet creature, said the spider, you are witty and you are wise. The spider does not give up. This time he tries to flatter the fly into doing what he wants her to do. And he calls her a sweet creature that is witty and wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings, how brilliant are your eyes. He acknowledges the fly's smartness and decides to coax her by repeatedly complimenting her. He also compliments her appearance. How handsome are your gauzy wings and how brilliant are your eyes. I have a little looking glass upon my parlour shelf. If you will step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. Now he wants to show the fly how beautiful she is by offering her a looking glass to look at herself and appreciate her own beauty. The point to be noted is that until now the spider had been asking her to step into his home. Will you walk into my parlour? Will you rest upon my little bed? Will you please take a slice? But this time, the first time, he suggests her to do something. I have a little looking glass upon my parlour shelf. If you will step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. Perhaps it affects the fly's reply. I thank you, gentle sir, she said, for what you are pleased to say, and bidding you good morning now, I'll call another day. Here she shifts her tone from a firm, oh no, no, to a soft tone. I thank you, gentle sir. Now this is the first instance where we are made to anticipate the fate of the fly. Either the fly is quite flattered, or perhaps she tries to stall the spider by saying that she will visit him some other day. The spider turned him round about and went into his den, for well he knew the silly fly would soon be back again. The spider goes back to his den. He knows that the fly is flattered, so he weaves a web in a little mischievous corner. So he wove a subtle web in a little corner sly, and set his table ready to dine upon the fly. The spider sets his dining table waiting for the fly. Then he came out to his door again, and merrily did sing, come hither, hither, pretty fly, with pearl and silver wing. Your robes are green and purple, there's a crest upon your head. Your eyes are like diamond bright, but mine are dull as lead. Now here the spider comes out to his door and sings a song praising the fly. He asks the pretty fly with pearl and silver wing to come near him. He flatters her by saying that her robes are green and purple, her eyes are as bright as a diamond, but his own are as dull as lead. Alas, alas, how very soon the silly little fly, hearing his willy flattering words, came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft, then near and nearer drew, thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head, poor foolish thing. Willy flattering words. Willy means false. So sadly the foolish fly, still enamored with the spider's flattery, gets closer and closer to his web. She now thinks only for her brilliant eyes and her crested head. At last up jumped the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast. He dragged her up his winding stair into his dismal den. Dismal means dark. Within his little parlor, but she never came out again. The cunning spider then fiercely catches her. She is now captured and dragged into his dismal den, from where she would never come out again. And now, dear little children, who may this story read, to idle, silly, flattering words, I pray you never give heed. Unto an evil counselor, close heart and ear and eye, and take a lesson from this tale of the spider and the fly. Now the last stanza gives a message to all the children, to all of us, that they should never pay heed to idle, silly and flattering words of an evil counselor. They should thus learn a lesson from this tale, not to be carried away by praises. So, children, here the poem ends with a direct address from the speaker to the children listening to the poem, to the readers reading the poem. They are warned to ignore flattery and take a lesson from this didactic poem. The poem also functions as a warning to women to sidestep the flattery of smooth-talking, predatory men.